hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna keep pushing. So Karmelo Anthony, young man, just hold on tight, because the appeal has already been submitted. Okay, the appeal has already been submitted. Investors, like I told you, I don't know when you find me, but I told you that I was going to use my channel for Shador Sanders and for anybody in the community that needed my help. And as you can see, I'm standing on my word, and I'm not, gosh. And I feel really it's an honor for a time like this to already be established because the injustice that Shador Sanders experienced last year with the NFL, I said right then, even though my channel is based on Shador Sanders, I'm going to use my platform to also speak for all young black and young women that is being done wrong in this system. Since he was a star football athlete, he was a star track athlete. He had 21 scholarships. He did everything right in his life. His parents did everything right. They said that our community, the fathers are not in the home. They said that the mothers are baby mothers. But this is one couple and one family nucleus that did everything right. And they still got railroaded. So what we saw yesterday, they released a video. And y'all, based off that video right there, that appeal should come faster than expected by releasing that video. But I saw it, even though it was bad quality. We're going to play devil's advocate over here with that video. And y'all, just by watching that video and the body cam that was released for that police that put him in handcuffs, that verdict by default should have been not guilty. And I'm not even a lawyer, but don't forget to use this term. It's called reasonable doubt. Just by that video alone, because how they have blurred it up, how they have edited. Listen, I don't even think that's the right, that's the same video that the 50 people that saw the video before the video got suppressed is the right video. But hey, but I'm gonna stay right here. But let's just say this was the video that those 50 people saw last year, which I don't think it is because it's grainy. But just by this video alone, reasonable doubt alone should go ahead and get that appeal granted and a retrial. I'm going to say get the whole thing thrown out, because we saw those boys, the 6 of them coming down that sidewalk. They went directly up into that stands to confront Karmelo Anthony. He was already there. He was sitting under that M. Isn't that ironic? Even though that video was grainy and you couldn't see nothing, but we saw that figure directly under that M. Now, if Karmelo Anthony, and by the grace of God, if he was sitting in any other place under that tent, we really couldn't make out what happened. But because he was destined to sit right there under that M, we can say, oh, that's him right there, because that's what we saw, the pushing. And it was multiple pushes, and he was jumped by multiple assailants. I'm going to continue to use these words, multiple assailants, because go ahead and look up Texas Penal Code regarding multiple assailants. He could have used anything in his vicinity to protect himself from being jumped. The released video footage at the sports event shows proof of multiple assailants' attack and against Karmelo Anthony, which was charged with first degree. This video alone, let's go ahead and talk about it, prosecutor. This video alone, your grounds that you had dreamed of and what you said how you was going to charge Karmelo Anthony, this video just destroyed the first degree for murder. It was not premeditated on Karmelo Anthony, and it definitely was not intent. Now, what this video did show, if Karmelo Anthony had lost his life and didn't fight back in those stands, this video here would have shown that the Metcalf brothers and their friends was the one actually would have been charged with first degree murder, because it was premeditated on the way that they walked up that sidewalk and out that gate and went straight up there. That's premeditation. And the intent, you know what their intent was, because of what ensued. So let me slow down. So like I said, for the viewers and investors that has been with me since day one, you know this channel is for education purposes and entertainment purposes, but just stay with me because today there's no entertainment in this. This right here was the smoking gun that Collin County just released. Like I said, if anything, it definitely shows reasonable doubt of what happened in that stands. And because it is grainy and we can't make out who is who, but we know according to their little circles, that was Karmelo Anthony that went up them stands. At a minimum, this is reasonable doubt, and a mistrial must happen, or get the charges thrown out, because that was show evidence. Even with the blurs, even with the human blurs, it shows self-defense. It shows multiple attackers around that young man. It definitely shows that. And listen, that weapon that came out, that's not a utility tool. I'm sorry, we're not buying that. I'm not buying that's that weapon. I'm not buying that. And I've seen many people that was in that was in the courtroom that particular day. We've heard their accounts. It was a utility tool. So that particular one, it don't have a flashlight, it don't have a scorch screw, it don't have them other tools. That's just a knife. Because I carry one of those. That's just a knife. It probably has dimensions this wide. It has no other tools on there versus that blade. We ain't falling for none of it. Self-defense. And also to you young people that jumped on Karmelo Anthony to attack him by default. And the law, since everybody's saying it was the law, based off that wrongful conviction, everybody that was under that tent, and they got into that altercation with Karmelo Anthony, by Texas law, commission of a felony was just proven. Because Austin Metcalf lost his life, commission of a felony. Those young people, when they got up on them stands and they raised their right hand, they just committed perjury, y'all. We just got proof that they committed perjury. Everything that they accounted in those police statements just contradicted everything that was in that grainy video. Everything that they just put in those affidavits, those police statements and records, major contradictions. Those 26 people and all those witnesses just committed perjury. This is exactly what Collin County has handed us. They did not hand us the video showing where Karmelo Anthony was rightfully convicted. No, they showed that the prosecution, they had it in for this young man, had no proof of burden, nothing. They failed at that, at demonstrating the first degree for murder. They failed at that. They also failed that the witnesses that they called on the stands are liars. They may have been 17 during that incident, but some of them young students at the time is now 18. They should be called in as an adult and re-questioned. I'm trying to tell you, the appeal lawyer and the family private attorney, definitely. You have all the ammunition now. Especially ineffective assistance of defense counsel. You already heard what the judge from Texas said. Matter of fact, he was not just an appellate judge, he was a special prosecutor for Texas. And I'm going to play that just to remind you, if you didn't catch that live, of what he said along with a prior prosecutor. Oh my gosh, y'all. This right here is the smoking gun that Collin County thought that they was giving the public to show proof that Karmelo Anthony committed first degree murder, since that's what they charged him with. No. This whole entire video shows the opposite. And the only thing that is definitely clear, that you see him run up the stands and he's running away. He's running away to get away from his attackers. Because if Karmelo Anthony was really running away from the scene, they never would have caught him. I'm going to beg the question again. the juries that was in that case, the 12 juries that took an oath to do the due diligence and review all evidence and scrutinize all evidence as a jury. You mean to tell me that you convicted Karmelo Anthony based off that janky video there? You mean to tell me that you convicted Karmelo Anthony off of that video right there? Now, based off that video, we all can say, as foundational Black Americans, based off that video there, the race element is proven. You convicted Karmelo Anthony off of that video because he was a Black American. Now that video has come out, it is proven that race has played a part in this case. The race element is valid and alive today. So thank you, Collin County. Thank you. You just proved that his race was the main factor into this. For all of you 12 juries, and I'm talking to you today, you sit up there in that courtroom, in that jury stand, and looked at this weak video, and you convicted this young man. Even when you saw him running away, and he went up and out, you didn't even consider that young man came back into the scenes and was talking to everybody with a calm demeanor, and he screamed. He put his hands on me. It was in self-defense. You sat up there with your big grown age, and you thought that you had the protection, the complexion for the protection to send this young man up in the river with that video there. But you can't even tell who was under that tent except for Karmelo Anthony. And I say again, Karmelo Anthony, if he was sitting any other place under that tent, we wouldn't even be able to identify him in those blobs. Because remember, Cody Thompson said it was blobs, and we saw that. You can't make out who is who. But we know, even in that blob, you distorted that video. You manipulated that video, because why everything else is 4K except for under that tent. And we're in 2026. And you mean to tell me that high school don't have any 4K cameras installed to show exactly what happened in that stand? It's okay. Well, hey, guess what? If you want us to believe that, okay, bet. But if you want us to believe that regarding that video, you also have to believe this video acquits Karmelo Anthony. It shows self-defense. It shows multiple attackers. And it showed it was not premeditated. And it was not intended on what happened in that stands. And it also shows that the Metcalf brothers and his friends who went up in those stands and they surrounded that young man. Thank you so much. Thank you.